Hello, and welcome to 5 Things You Need to Know About APA Style in 5 Minutes or Less, a video series where we provide tips and tricks for various aspects of the graduate student research experience in 5 minutes or less. In this video, we will offer some resources for learning more about APA style and go over some common mistakes made. There are a multitude of resources available that describe APA style. The main resource we recommend is the Publication Manual of the American Psychological Association, 7th edition. Of note, the 7th edition of the APA Manual came out October of 2019, so it is very important you follow this updated publication manual, given it has been used for several years now. In addition to the publication manual, we recommend that you utilize resources provided by the Purdue Writing Lab. Simply searching OWL Purdue APA should direct you to the resources offered there.
As we move on to our tips, remember that APA style has some variations depending on whether you're writing a professional paper, like a research manuscript you plan to submit for publication, or a school paper. In this video, we'll provide tips to prevent common mistakes in utilizing APA style for professional papers or research manuscripts. So first, let's talk about title pages. The title page should include the title in bold and title case, as well as author names and affiliations and author acknowledgements. Names should include middle initials, but not include titles like doctor, for example. By affiliations, we mean the university the authors are affiliated with. So for us, that would be Indiana University. When submitting a manuscript for peer review, you can insert a superscript next to authors who are affiliated with the same institution. Based on journal requirements, the title page is also the place to provide acknowledgements such as funding details, a disclosure statement, a data availability statement, and so forth. Here's an example of a title page submitted with a manuscript for peer review. And so you can see how we did that. See the style guide for details regarding your paper abstract and keywords. Note that the abstract is not indented, whereas the word keywords should be italicized and indented prior to listing your keywords. Follow the guide exactly so you don't make silly mistakes that could influence peer reviewers' perception of your scholarly abilities.
Next, headings. Once you are familiar with heading levels, it will be less likely that you make mistakes. However, at first, this can be tricky. There are 5 levels of headings, and there is a running head. The running head includes the title or an abbreviated title because it cannot be longer than 50 characters, located at the top left of every page of your paper, and the page number located in the top right. The other headings are used throughout the paper to delineate sections and to help the reader understand your paper. Headings must be in order starting with level 1. See this example.
Next, in-text citations. See the resources we mentioned previously for the basics of an in-text citation, but here are some things that you can remember. When citing direct quotes, you need to cite the exact page or pages where that quote came from. Use 1 P with a period if the quote came from 1 page, and use 2 Ps with a period for a page range. If you're citing a quote from a website, for example, that doesn't have page numbers, use the paragraph number where the quote came from, and this would read para with a period. The formatting for long quotations, so quotes that are longer than 40 words, is different. Utilize a block quote, so indent the whole quote, and cite the page number at the end of the block quote with the period before the page number citation. We also want to draw your attention to citing organizations with well-known abbreviations. For example, in our field, the National Association of School Psychologists is often referred to as NASP. Therefore, when citing something from NASP, we would first write out the whole name, and then in brackets, we would record the abbreviation. Throughout the remainder of the paper, we would cite open parentheses, NASP, comma, the year, and then the closed parentheses. For multiple in-text citations by the same author, provide the author's name once, and then the years in order from oldest to most recent. For multiple in-text citations by the same author, use lowercase letters next to the year, and this should match the reference list.
Now, the reference list. See the resources mentioned previously for all details on creating your reference list. We just want to note a couple things. 1, when you have multiple articles by the same author, list the citation in chronological order from oldest to most recent. If you have multiple sources by the same author in the same year, utilize the lowercase letter strategy we discussed with in-text citations. Also, we commonly see mistakes related to title capitalization. In the reference list, only capitalize the first letter of the first word of the title, the first word after colon or dash in proper nouns. Do not capitalize every word in the title.
Now, related to tables and figures, be sure you look closely at the APA style guidelines with regard to titles and formatting. When creating a table for a manuscript, use the insert table feature in Word, and you can hide the borders like vertical borders to match style guidelines.
Thank you for tuning in to 5 things you need to know about APA style in 5 minutes or less. Please subscribe and be on the lookout for our next video, 5 things you need to know about searching for articles. We look forward to engaging with you and serving as a resource.